Hi peeps, my name is Zina and I'm aging ethically. Well guys, this Sunday is Mother's Day and I wanted to make a video to honor my mother in a way that is comfortable for me, which is through the expression of makeup artistry. Now, I don't want to make this a somber video. I want this to be more of a celebration of life, but I've mentioned before in my previous videos that my mother did pass away in 1999. I put a lot of pressure on myself before making this video because it's the first Mother's Day where I have a YouTube channel and I have an outlet and a voice and a message to put out there to the universe. And my mother is so special and her memory is so special to me that I wanted this video to be absolutely perfect. But I'm going to do the best that I can because I can't say enough about her in a short little video. And I will be talking more and more about my mother throughout the future and in future videos because she was very important to me. She is very important to me and she's left a permanent imprint on my heart. And she has been such a source of inspiration and ongoing inspiration in my life. It's impossible to summarize her life in a short way because she's done so much in the limited time that she had on this earthly plane with us. My mother was an immigrant from Sicily and she went to school in America to be a teacher, and she was a high school teacher in the same high school for decades, and she touched many generations of lives. And she was an Italian language teacher. She pretty much brought Italian culture to our little town in New Jersey. To this day, there are still honor societies and scholarships being given to young people in that town in New Jersey because of my mother. And she passed away of a heart attack. She had a sudden heart attack toward the end of the school year in 1999, much to the shock of her students and her family. So I really didn't get a chance to say goodbye to my mother. I remember the last conversation I had with my mother, and it was a positive and really loving one. I still remember, I'm gonna try not to cry. I still remember the sound of her voice as if I just talked to her yesterday. And it has been many, many years since I've actually heard her voice. So I think she'll stay with me for the rest of my life. So, sorry guys. It's hard to talk about loss without crying. I don't know. I'm not a big crier, but sometimes I'm going to share on this channel some things that are pretty powerful, you know, for me. And of course, you know, your instinct is going to be emotion. So this is going to be a celebration of life. Okay, so I'm going to step away from the sadness and we're gonna step into the beauty of my mother and her memory. My mother's makeup preferences. Okay, she loved to buy L'Oreal. I remember this distinctly. And CoverGirl, but primarily L'Oreal. And I remember one time my mother took my sister and I to the mall and she let us pick out some high-end makeup, one thing from the, you know, like, I don't even know, I think it was like Nordstrom's or something. I was a teenager, I have no idea, but I remember I picked out, and I carried this with me for a very long time, but the Shiseido lipstick, and it was in a really unusual bright orange color that you couldn't find in the drugstore because I wanted something unique and unusual, and I've always been that way, I guess. My mother would pick colors for herself. She had very beautiful olive toned skin, and she would have such a beautiful tan in the summertime. Unlike myself, I'm a very pale complexion. My mother would have beautiful, beautiful olive tone tan skin. And she would pick shimmers or metallic shades of lipstick and eyeshadow, and they looked stunning on her. It really made her eyes bright. And she would pick like plum tones and copper shades for her eyes. And they always looked so beautiful. And I remember I'm gonna cry again. I remember I used to sit and watch my mother put on her makeup well into my teens, and that would be some of our best, I should say our best conversations, but my mother had a really, really wonderful sense of humor, and she was so easy to talk to, so loving and so compassionate. And I just remember talking to her while she put on her makeup, and I paid very close attention to her technique and her style. And this was, of course, you know, in the 80s and 90s, when there was like a distinct look back at that time, but some of the methods are timeless. Hopefully without any more tears, because I don't think my mother would want me to cry all throughout this video. I think she'd be really proud of these makeup videos, and I think she hopefully is watching me from somewhere and guiding me. I'm going to be using a lot of Wet n Wild products for you guys today. I'm going to start out with the Photo Focus Wet n Wild Rose Toner. Not really into rose smelling products, but being that it's spring and I'm really enjoying it right now. It's like a rose garden. Fresh smell. It's divine. It's absolutely divine. I love this. I'm going to be using some e.l.f. Hydrating Booster Drops. Next is CoverGirl and Olay Simply Ageless Foundation. I am utilizing Jeffree Star's Magic Star Concealer. I'm going to set it using the Jeffree Star Magic Star Powder in Translucent. It's time to do brows, and I'm going to use the Urban Decay Brow Blade. I've been using this one for a while. I really enjoy it. And as I mentioned earlier, my mother really loved to use like plum tones and pinks on her eyes, and she would use primarily, never glitters, never glitters. You know, she was the teacher, she was the high school teacher, she was very sophisticated, but she would use shimmers, and they looked so, so pretty on her. I'm going to go back to December. I'm going to rewind, and I'm going to pull out my Pure Cosmetics and the Grinch. And I don't use this palette enough. It's really, really, really pretty. And the pigmentation is unreal. You see these shimmers? I'm sure my mother would have loved these shimmer shades. So I'm going to use a couple of these different shades in today's look. I'm going to pick up Cave for a transition. I'm going to pick up Cindy Lou Who. I'm going to put her on the inner corner of my eye. I'm going to apply a little deep maroon sort of color, Sly One. I'm going to put that on the outer portion of my eye. I'm going to take that same shade, Sly One, and I'm going to put it underneath my eye. And I'm going back to Cave, and I'm going to go underneath that color that I just put down. This is brand new from Wet n Wild. This is from the Mega Glow collection. Super cute little eyeshadow trio, and this one is called Rose Quartz. I just played with it maybe a couple of times, and I really like it. It's a nice subtle shimmer along with a lovely little light pink sort of matte shade. I think it'll work really well for this look today. So I'm going to take, there aren't really any shade names, but I'm going to take this one here. Really pretty, you can see that shimmer there. And I'm just going to use my finger to tap on it. And it's adding just the right amount of shimmer on top of that shadow that I've already applied. I like this very much. I'm going to take Feeling Frosty. Now, my mother didn't do like a cat eye wing, or she didn't wear false lashes or anything like that, but I think for today she just did like a really nice coat of mascara and her eyes looked so pretty and bright. But I think for today I'm going to enhance this look with my own little signature accents. Going in with the NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil in Milk, and I'm just going to do my waterline. Next, I'm going to go ahead and use the NYX Matte Liquid Liner, big shocker, in, in black. I'm going to go back in with Sly One, and I'm just going to briefly dip into this sort of glittery black shadow. Leave Now. Just a quick little dip. Boop, boop. That's all you need. I just want to deepen Sly One a little bit. As I said before, my mother really didn't wear false lashes, but she did use mascara, and I'm gonna go ahead and put a nice coat of mascara on my lashes for you. And that's it for my shimmery rose eye look. I'm going to take a moment and try to recreate the look on the other side, and I'll be right back. So this is my rose shimmer eye complete. I'm going to contour a little bit, which is something we did not do in the 90s, but I'm going to go ahead and do tonight. I'm using my NYX Highlight and Contour Palette. Very well loved. For blush, I'm going to use the Wet n Wild Cream Blush limited edition. This is from the Rebel Rose collection. Now, I did a little video on this recently, and I've been using this ever since that video. Every single time I apply makeup and I put on blush, I go to this blush and I grab it because it's so unique. It's a tint, right? So it's like, it leaves like a little tint. I've been applying it with my finger, but I did go out and purchase the appropriate rose brush from the Rebel Rose collection, Wet n Wild. How gorgeous is this brush? It has like rose colored bristles on the end. This is a vegan synthetic brush, and it's just stunning. So I wanted to stop applying this with my finger and actually use a brush. I could have used any of my existing brushes, but I saw this at CVS and I picked it up. It was relatively inexpensive. I think it was like $6 or $7 for this brush, but I had to have it because how aesthetically pleasing is this gorgeous rose brush. As I stated before, I've only ever applied this product with my fingers, so I'm going to try to use this brush. And you don't need much of it. You don't need much at all. So I'm just very gently dabbing it on top, and it's like it's a cream blush, and we'll see what happens. Very, very subtle tint if you apply it correctly, if you just put a little bit on at a time and build. It's a color changing blush. It's a novelty item that actually works and it functions, and it's absolutely beautiful. I love it. Oh, it's so cute. I love it so, so much. I'm so happy right now. And now for highlight, I'm going to go back to the Pure Cosmetics Christmas palette, the Grinch palette. And I'm going to take Feeling Frosty, which is what I put on my brow bone and my inner eye, and I'm going to go right over my cheekbone with it. This is something else we didn't do back in the 90s. We didn't highlight and we didn't contour, we just used blush. And finally, lipstick. As I stated earlier, my mother looked so beautiful with metallic lipsticks. I'm going to line my lips first, and I'm going to use my go-to from NYX. This is the shade Ever. I'm really having fun with this video, kind of combining my own style with my mother's style of applying makeup. So for my lipstick tonight and my final touch, I'm going to be using Wet n Wild. This is a brand new lipstick. And as you can see, it has like a shimmer, sort of metallic finish to it. And this is the shade Dark Pink Frost. Look how, oh my gosh, look how metallic and shimmery that is. Okay, here we go. Woo! It's very, very creamy, very moisturizing actually. Feels very nice on the lips. All right, guys. All right, peeps. Well, thank you so much for joining me for this video today. This is my rose, sort of floral, shimmery, metallic look inspired by my mother, and I miss her dearly. She will forever be in my heart. I hope you have the happiest Mother's Day. I hope you enjoy with your children, with your pets, with your mothers. If you've lost your mother on Mother's Day, it can be a particularly tough holiday because it's, you know, a big time for stores to be advertising Mother's Day, selling cards and flowers and all kinds of things, and you're constantly bombarded with the imagery of Mother's Day when you leave your house, and it can be kind of tough. And I've been mourning the loss of my mother since 1999, and I can tell you that it doesn't get easier. You just sort of change and adapt with it throughout the years. I just know, and I feel comfort in my heart knowing that my mother's spirit is always around me. I feel like she will be with me for the rest of my life. So please comment below if you need a friend and you need someone to talk to if you're mourning the loss of your mother, or if you just want to share a story, a beautiful story about your mom with me. I would love to read them. I'm going to include down below, and I do in all my videos, my social media links for Instagram and Twitter. So if you'd like to create a look inspired by your mom, please do tag me or at me or whatever, because I would love to see your creations and I would love to see you honor your mothers with the artistry of makeup application. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye. Ciao, love.